Golf can feel pretty overwhelming when you're learning the game. Now, as if learning the swing isn't enough or difficult enough, then we have those pesky rules. It appears to be tons of the rules that you need to learn and know. However, today I'm going to help you out. In this podcast, I'm going to break down the five most important rules every beginner should know before stepping onto the course. From understanding penalties and out of bounds to playing provisional balls, these simple rules will help new golfers find confidence, feel knowledgeable, and prepared to go out to the course. So, whether you're learning golf for business networking, personal growth, or just for fun, this episode will help you. Welcome to the A Perfect Swing podcast, where we help beginners, professionals, and everyday golfers build confidence both on and off the course. I'm your host, Ashante Epps, CEO and founder of A Perfect Swing Incorporated, as well as LPGA Top 50 Best Instructor. And today we're talking about something that can intimidate almost any new golfer, and that is the rules of golf. One of the largest myths in golf is that beginners need to know every rule before playing. And I am here to tell you that is not the case. Even experienced golfers occasionally ask questions and check rulings. Golf is a lifelong learning sport. Lifelong learning of rules, lifelong learning of the swing. The thing that matters most is that you be honest, be respectful, you keep up with the pace, stay safe, and stay teachable. Those are the qualities that matter more than anything else. And remember, there's absolutely nothing wrong with asking others for understandings about relief or rules of the game as you play. Now, let's be honest. We know golf does have a reputation for having a lot of rules. But the good news is, as beginners, you don't have to memorize all of them. And there's really probably just a few key ones that you really want to hone in on as you learn to play. And then as you continue to grow your skill set, you can begin to learn more about all the other rules as you play and all that good stuff. So today, we're reviewing the top five rules every golfer should learn before heading to the golf course. And those are: one, play the ball as it lies, understanding when you can move your ball. Two, understanding out of bounds and unplayables. Three, provisional balls. Four, bunker play and relief. And five, relief from red and yellow penalty areas. So let's jump into it. The top five rules every beginner should know to get started. All right, so the first one is play the ball as it lies. One of the most important principles in golf, it is just simply that you want to play the ball as it lies. Your ball is considered in play once you teed off. So once you hit it off the first tee, your ball is in play. Now, also note that what this is saying is that wherever your ball comes to rest, you generally have to hit it from that exact position. And again, that is unless you're taking relief. So you can't roll the ball out from behind a tree or kick it into better grass or do anything to improve your lie just because the shot looks difficult. No, you have to play it exactly where it is. Now, one beginner tip: don't panic if your ball lands somewhere difficult. Every golfer, even the pros that you see playing on TV, they deal with bad lies. And so they have to look up the rules sometime. So just note that you're not alone in that situation. And you're learning, if you're not playing in an official tournament, just drop it out and go have fun. But I like to share these things because I want you to know what the right way is. But again, if you're a beginner and you're just learning to make good contact with the ball, don't worry about all the difficult rules. However, um, you want to make sure you know about them, because if you go out and you play in any type of corporate events or corporate outings, You want to know the right thing that you're supposed to do. And I want to make sure that I tell you those things. All right. Now, knowing when you can move your ball. Typically, once you tee off, the next time that you can move your ball without anything happening, meaning without free relief or penalty relief, is when your ball gets to the green. You, without any penalty, can mark your ball and clean it on when the ball is on the green. If you're in the fairway or rough, you usually cannot move it unless a rule applies for relief, be it free or penalty relief. So if it's in the fairway or the rough, you can't move it. And then if your ball lands on like a cart path or any other man-made obstruction, you do typically get free relief from that if it impedes your swing. So it has to be that where if you swing your club, it's going to hit that particular item, obstruction, cart path, or if your stance, so where you stand when you take a normal stance, that you're standing on that particular obstruction or cart path. Okay. Now, one thing to note, I see this all the time where you may have your ball roll slightly under a tree, and when you take your stance, the tree branch is rubbing on your neck. The answer is no, you cannot break that branch off so that it does not affect your swing. So you have to leave everything intact. You're not allowed to remove anything that's attached to the ground. If it is a branch or a leaf that's on the ground, that if you move it, you're not pulling it out of the soil, then that's one thing. But if it is attached to a tree or attached to an object that is literally growing from the ground, you cannot remove it. Okay, you can't break it off or any of that thing. All right. All right. Now let's jump into the second one. The second one is unplayable and out of bounds. So when you have an unplayable ball, what it's saying is that your ball went into an area that you can't play it. Now, what you'll see on the screen is the diagram from the USGA website. I like to use these website pictures because you'll see them as you look up the rules in the book, and this is just an opportunity, or the rules online, either one. But it gives me an opportunity to walk through them with you to explain it so that one, you understand what it's saying in the rule book, and then you can represent at a later time. So an unplayable, again, noting when we talk about unplayable, is going to be not in a penalty area because penalty areas have their own sets of reliefs. And that is the yellow and the red penalty areas, and we'll talk about those. But if you look in this diagram, the player at number 1 here hit the ball and it went into the trees here. So because it went into the trees, they cannot play the ball. So it's identified as an unplayable. Okay. So now here we have a couple of options. The first options is, well, all of the options is a 1-stroke penalty because when you can't play it, it's a penalty for that. So the first option is stroking distance. And what that says is you've hit the ball, it's gone into the area, and now it's unplayable. So what you can do is you can take a 1-stroke penalty and hit the ball from your original location. Okay? That's called stroking distance. So if you hit here, that's 1. Your ball lands there, you take the penalty 2. When you hit again here, you'll be hitting your third shot. Now, the other option, again, is great to know the options because you want to know what's best for you, for your game, for the way the course is played. The second thing is what you can do is where the ball is located, you can draw a line from the ball to the flag and then draw it back from the flag to the ball there and all the way back through to infinity. And you can drop the ball anywhere on that line within 1 club length. Okay. So note it's the line going from the ball to the flag. So not the flag to where they hit, but it is the line from the ball to the flag and extended all the way back. You still got a 2-stroke, you still have a 1-stroke penalty, but so instead of maybe playing where you originally played it, this may be a better option for you here. Okay. And then the third option is to take 2 club lengths from where the unplayable ball is, drop in there from 2 club lengths on either side, still with the 1 stroke penalty. Okay. So you can go back and play from where you played from. You can draw a line from the flag to the ball all the way back, and you can drop it within 1 club length on that line. Or you can do 2 club lengths from where the unplayable ball lands. All right. Now, let's talk about out of bounds. How do you know if a ball is considered out of bounds? So when we look at our chart here, the thing to note is that the ball has to be on some part of the course to be considered inbounds. So if you look at our left picture here, these 2 balls are considered out of bounds. And if you notice this one that I'm circling here, it's actually could be on the line if there was a line, right? So when it comes to a ball being out of bounds, it cannot be on the line. It has to at least be somewhere on the course. So if you look at the ball here that has the green check, half of the ball is on the course, the other half is on the line. So because a part of it is on the course, then it's inbounds. And of course, this one is inbounds because it's on the course. When you look at the picture to the right, this one is out of bounds because it's not even touching the line or on the course for sure, right? This ball is actually on the line, but it's out of bounds because it does not touch the course. This ball here is half on the out of bounds marker, half on the course. So it's on the course. And then this ball, of course, is on the course. So just note that to be considered out of bounds, well, out of bounds actually is considered if the ball is on the line or out of bounds. So the ball has to be on the course for it to be considered inbounds. All right, now let's talk about how you handle out of bounds markings. So if you look at my chart here on the right, my picture, this is a golf hole. You see the white poles here. White poles out of bounds are identified by white markers. So white poles. Now, not to be confused, there are white poles generally, or white poles with black tape around them in the middle of the fairways at the 150-yard mark. But the white poles that you see on the side that, sometimes you may see red ones, sometimes you may see yellow ones. But if they're white for identification, what these are saying is these are the out of bound markers. Okay. So when we look at this particular photo, if our ball landed here, and I'm circling it up here on the upper left-hand side, as you can see, based on looking at this, it could be or could not be out of bounds, right? Just the visual aspect. The first thing you must do before you identify or can identify if a ball is out of bounds or inbounds is you have to find both stakes. You can't look at one stake and say, "Oh yeah, this is inbounds," because it's right. It's in front of this white marker. You have to find the other stake and draw the line between the 2 stakes because they're not always straight. So in this scenario here, if I'm looking at the first pole, you may think that this ball is in bounds, but if I draw a line to the second one, you'll see that it's actually sitting behind it. So the critical thing to note is that you have to find the second stake. You have to find the second white stake to draw the line to know whether or not, or figure out whether or not your ball is inbounds or out of bounds. Okay. You cannot play the ball as it lies, even if you can get to it. If your ball is out of bounds, you still aren't allowed to hit it, even if you can hit it from that particular location. And typically for out of bounds, you're taking stroke and distance relief. However, to speed up play, we recommend doing a provisional ball. And I'll talk about provisional balls here in just a second. But just note that for if say we took stroke and distance, so say we hit one here, we hit one shot on the tee box here, the ball goes out of bounds. Okay. We have to take the penalty stroke. And when we come back, so we take stroke and distance, meaning we'll come back and hit from this same tee box, we'd be hitting 3. Okay. So you still have to take a penalty for being out of bounds. Typically, you know, when it's talking about speeding up pace of play, so if you hit here, you go all the way down there and you see, oh, my ball is out of bounds, and you can't hit it. So then it's like you got to come all the way back to the tee box and then hit again. Well, instead of doing that, if you hit on the tee box and you're not quite sure, you can hit a provisional ball, which I'll talk about here in just a moment. And that provisional ball will allow you to kind of keep play moving. So if you hit a provisional ball, when you get down there and you realize that you're in, then you play that ball and keep going and negate the provisional ball. However, if you find that you are out of bounds, you have a ball out there with your provisional ball already that you could play. So that doesn't really block up pace of play for you. Okay. Excellent. All right. And then there's another thing that I want to make you aware of. There's a local rule that's in a lot of places, and basically, what it's saying is also another way to speed up pace of play and a lot of different other things there. But what you could do is you can find the edge of the green across from where your ball out of bounds. You can find the corner edge of the fairway from there. Take a drop in 2 club lengths of the fairway and add a 2-stroke penalty. So looking at the chart, if our ball lands here, if I draw a line over to the fairway, here's the edge of the fairway. We mark 2 club lengths, and then you take a drop in within that club length, those 2 club lengths. But just note that you can't be closer to the hole from where you drop your ball. And that penalty stroke, again, is 2. So it's 2 penalty strokes. So again, if you drop it into the fairway after an out of bounds ball, that's a 2-stroke penalty. Hello, I'm excited to share an experience that I've been looking forward to, and I definitely want you to be a part of it. Join me and fellow LPGA professional Jamie Taylor for the A Perfect Swing Golf and Leadership Experience happening February 19th through the 22nd, 2027. This is a 4-day retreat created specifically for men and women business professionals who want to do more than just play golf. We're bringing together golf, leadership, networking, and professional development in one unforgettable experience. You'll have the opportunity to sharpen golf skills, build your confidence on the course, connect with other business professionals, and learn how the lessons we experience in golf, just like preparation, strategy, resilience, communication, and decision making, how they can help us become better leaders as well. Because golf isn't just about the score on the scorecard, it's about the relationships you build, the opportunities you create, and the lessons you take with you beyond the course. So if you're ready to sharpen your game, expand your network, and elevate your leadership, I'd love to see you there. Visit www.aperfectswing.net/golf experiences for all the details and to register. A Perfect Swing Golf and Leadership Experience where your next great connection comes just before the next swing. All right, now we're here to the provisional ball. The provisional ball is a ball saying, hey, I think my ball may be out of bounds. I may not be able to find it, whatever the case may be. I need to hit another one so that just in case I cannot find the ball when I get up there, I have one that I can put in play. Now, the thing that you need to note is that for a provisional ball, you need to say out loud, I am hitting a provisional ball. You must say, I am hitting a provisional ball. Okay? So let's say we're on the tee box and we hit a ball and our ball lands here. It's our white ball. We're not sure if we're going to find it. So we yell out on the tee box, oh, I'm going to take a provisional ball. We go and hit another ball. And our ball lands here in the fairway. Okay? We go and we hit this ball. the first yellow ball. And when we hit the yellow ball, it lands in the second spot. You can continue playing the provisional ball as long and hold out and you're fine, but you have to take the penalty. So you would take the penalty one shot. When you hit the second shot, that would be your third shot. However, say you hit this first provisional ball, and you look around in this area for your ball and you don't see it. Okay? And then you hit this ball and it lands here. Even if after this ball lands here and you look around and find your ball, you can go back and play this ball for your second stroke. Okay? However, here's where it gets very specific. If this second ball is hit, you cannot go back and play this first ball. So if you draw a line from this first ball across the fairway, once you hit a ball, meaning you strike a ball and that is past that imaginary line right there, you can't go back. So if you draw an imaginary line across the fairway from where you dropped your provisional ball, where you lost your original ball, once you strike a ball past that line, you cannot go back to the provisional ball. Now, just because the ball flew over that line, it doesn't matter. The thing that comes into play is if you strike the ball after it's past the imaginary line of where the initial ball went in. Okay? So that's the critical thing. You could play the ball, but if you strike the provisional ball at a point that is past the imaginary line, you can't go back to the initial ball. All right, now let's jump into the fourth thing. The fourth thing we're talking about bunker relief. We love those. Now, again, I'm using a picture from the USGA website. Great information that's always found there, and I like to use those in my videos so I can interpret that for you. And again, you have that at your fingertips as you're searching through for rules on the USGA website, or if you have a USGA manual or the app. So if we're looking here, we have our player one. They're aiming, or their objective is to hit the green they're going to this flag. But when they hit their ball, it went into the bunker. You got 4 different options. Our first one is the stroking distance. So for the first one, if we said he hits 1, it went into the bunker. If he decides he doesn't want to hit it again, he can take the one stroke. If he doesn't want to hit it from the bunker area, he can take the 1 stroke penalty and come back here and hit again. But he'll be hitting 3. So if you come back here, that's the 1 stroke penalty. The other option is to draw a line from the ball to the flag and then extend that line all the way back. And if you stay in the bunker, you can drop it anywhere on that line in 1 club length for a 1 stroke penalty. So it'll be where you hit here, that's 1. You take the penalty because it's in there 2. You can drop 1 club length on each side here in the bunker, and you're hitting your 3rd shot. Now, for another option, your 3rd option is while it's in the bunker, you can move it 2 club lengths to either side of that ball to take relief. So if you hit it from here, that's the first stroke. It goes in here. That's your penalty stroke you have to take a penalty for. Now, if you feel you can hit it out, you can just hit it out. But if you want to take relief, again, that's what I'm referring to, then these are your options. So you can move the ball 2 club lengths, either side of the ball, no closer to the hole, and take a 1 stroke penalty hitting from there. Your 4th option, if you want to take it out of the bunker, so if you hit your ball from here and it goes in, you have an unplayable on the line. So you draw that imaginary line from the flag to the ball and drag it all the way down to infinity. You can drop your ball within 1 club length as far back as you want to go. But because the ball was in the bunker, if you want to pull it out of the bunker, you have to take an extra penalty stroke. So you're taking 2 strokes. So if you hit it here, that's 1 stroke. It goes in and you want to take relief. So you have to take the penalty. That's 2. And then when you come here, you take the additional stroke, 3, and you're hitting 4. Because to pull it out of the bunker, you have to take 2 strokes. Another way of saying that is you hit the shot here. That's 1 stroke. The ball is here. You choose to take relief. So you're going to pull it out as far back as you can, but within 1 club distance on each side. You take 2 penalty strokes. So that's 3. So then you'll be hitting your 4th shot. Now let's talk about our 5th thing, which is yellow and red penalty area relief. So you have the yellow penalty area. It's generally marked by the yellow stakes. And so let's talk about how that's handled. So again, I'm showing you the diagram from the USGA website. So the yellow stakes generally let you know that the ball is running across your path, or the body of water is flowing or running, or whatever whatever it is running. The penalty area is running in the front of you, so across your path. So if you're standing on a tee box or somewhere, and you look down and see yellow penalty markers, or yellow penalty area markers, that penalty area is actually running across your path. All right. So in this particular situation, you have a couple of options. So you hit here and you're heading to the flag here. And so say you hit your ball and your ball goes into the water. So it doesn't cross over, although you had to cross over the body of water to get to the flag. First option is to take stroking distance, meaning you hit from here, that's 1. Your ball went into the water, that's 2. And you go back and you hit from your original spot, that's 3. That's your first option. The second option, that's one option. The second option is for you to find the entry point into the penalty area where the ball went in. So if you look on the chart here, here's the X. The ball went in here. The point in which the ball goes into the penalty area, you can draw a line from the flag to that point all the way back to infinity. And you can drop the ball within 1 club length on either side of that line and then hit from there. Still to be a 1 stroke penalty. So you'd hit the ball here initially. So that's 1. The ball goes into the water here, or the yellow penalty area. That's 2. And then you take relief on the line back from where the ball entered into the penalty area. So from there, you're hitting 3. So that is for the yellow penalty areas. Now you have the red penalty areas, and they are marked by the red stakes. And for the red penalty area, what you'll see is that it's lateral hazards. Red penalty areas are running parallel to you. So they're not coming across your path. So if you're standing on the tee box or wherever and you see stakes down there and they're red, just know that it's not going across your path. It's going parallel to how you're playing, or the direction that you're playing. And so with the red penalty area, so she's hitting here and she hits her ball into the water, although she was going to the flag here. You always have stroking distance. So if she took stroking distance, she'd hit 1 from here. Her ball goes in. She takes the penalty. She goes back to where she hit, and she'll be hitting 3. Okay? It's 1 penalty stroke. Now, the other thing that you can do, just as we did with the yellow penalty area, or penalty area, you find the spot in which the ball crossed into the penalty area. And you could draw a line from the flag to that spot and then all the way back on infinity, and you can drop one club length on that line. Now note in this picture that this actually crossed the water. So that line is infinity. So even just going back on that line, you can go on the other side of the water or whatever that penalty area is to hit the ball. So that's your option. So if you took that option, you would hit one. So she hit one on the her initial shot here. Her ball went in. She took the penalty stroke, and then she chose to drop on the line, going as far back behind the point of entry line that she wants. So when she hits from there, she'll be hitting 3. Now, because it's a lateral hazard, you get one additional option for taking relief from a penalty area, a red penalty area, that is. And that is, you can identify the points of entry into the penalty area and take 2 club length drop no closer to the hole from that spot. You can only do this for a red penalty area, not for a yellow penalty area. And the thing you want to note is that you find the spot of entry into the penalty area, not where the ball lands. So in this picture could be a little tricky because we've identified our point of entry is right here on X. But sometimes when we hit our balls and we see that it flew, maybe 50 feet farther in or forward over the trees, we feel like we want to drop down where the ball landed. No, you have to drop where the ball enters the actual penalty area. So if we're looking at this particular picture, she's going to hit the first one. When the ball goes into the penalty area, you get assessed a penalty stroke. And then she has the option to drop within 2 club lengths from the point of entry. Note, not where the ball lands, but the point of entry. So she gets to take a drop there. And so she's hitting 3 from there. So that's the third option for taking relief. Now, I can't leave you without a leadership lesson. Golf is a game built on integrity, patience, and continuous learning. The rules may seem intimidating at first, but learning a few key fundamentals can make your experience so much more enjoyable. The same is true in leadership. You don't have to know everything when you step into a leadership role, but you do need to be willing to learn the fundamentals, ask questions, and understand the environment around you. Leaders recognize that confidence doesn't come from having all the answers. It comes from being prepared enough to make decisions, humble enough to keep learning, and patient enough to understand that growth takes time. Just like golf, leadership is not about hitting the perfect shot every time. It's about understanding the course, making adjustments, learning from each shot, and staying committed to the next one. Your leadership journey, like your golf game, gets better when you embrace the process. So, to recap, the 5 foundational rules you want to know as you begin to play are: 1, play the ball as it lies. If it's not on the green, typically you want to play it where it is without moving it. However, once your ball gets to the green, you can mark it, pick it up and clean it, and place it when you get ready to play without any type of penalties. 2, understand out of bounds. If a ball is out of bounds, you cannot hit it. The other thing is that the ball, some piece of the ball must be touching the course, not just the line, but must be on the course for the ball to be considered inbounds. The third thing is provisional balls. We covered provisional balls, but just note that for a provisional ball to be legitimate, you must announce that you're hitting a provisional ball. The fourth thing was bunker play. Understanding how to take relief from bunkers. There are options for your ball remaining in the bunker, as well as options for removing your ball from the bunker. And the fifth thing is relief from yellow and red penalty areas. And understanding that you have two options for the yellow penalty areas, and then you have an additional option for the red penalty area. All right. This has been a full session. So listen, if you're new to golf, focus on progress, not perfection. Every golfer started somewhere. Thank you for listening to the A Perfect Swing podcast. If this episode helped you, share it with another beginner golfer, business professional, or junior golfer who's learning the game. And remember, a perfect swing is not flawless, but it is repeatable. I'm Ashante Epps, and I look forward to speaking with you the next time. Thank you.